This is a HeadGum podcast.
Oh, hello. This is Fake the Nation, where we talk about news, we talk about culture, and where I admit that I gave my first commencement address. Folks, my name is Negin Farsad, and I know it's weird, right? I'm with two comedians here, and it's like it is the same as stand-up, except for not at all the same. In that, like, you don't have to like aim for the same jokes per minute ratio, but you do have to aim for this. That the jokes per minute ratio is the inspiration per minute ratio in a commencement address. And so that's what, and then also today, as I was coming to the studio, there were so many people wearing their graduation gowns because they're graduating from NYU today. And there was like bodega owners walking out being like, hey, mommy, congratulations. And it was so, like, the entire city was congratulating random strangers in their gowns. Anyways, it was so lovely, extremely moving.
And you inspired that whole new generation.
And I did that, but I did it in Michigan. And it was at Lawrence Technological University, a bunch of engineers and architects. So naturally they would bring me. You know what I mean? It makes so much sense, I think. You say Negin Farsad, immediately you think engineering, science, architecture. But it was anyways, it was so I got the laughs I wanted, but the interesting thing about it was, like, several grown men came up to me and said that I wept during your speech. And I was like, God. And then one of them actually wept to me while telling me that he wept. And I was like, this is very interesting, because it's not what happens in stand-up. In stand-up, it's like, that was okay, I'll see you later. You know what I mean? It's
someone like uses the bathroom.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's you. Yeah, all right. And then, but this was very different. So today, I do not intend on making grown men cry, though there are some grown men that make the United States cry. Am I right? So we'll talk about the new, possibly shitty technology from Facebook. We'll also talk about what's new with Weight Watchers, how little baby Trump wants to celebrate his birthday, Qatar's $400 million gift, and whether Western retirees are colonizers when they move to warm countries for retirement. Now, folks, today's panel, oh my God, who are these two people that I keep referring to but not introducing? The tension is thick in the room.
We're spirits.
We have joining us, she's a comedian, she's a lawyer, she's just an all-around incredibly talented person. We're so lucky to have her. It is the one and only Andrea Coleman. Hi, Andrea.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining
Glad to be
us.
back.
We also have in the room with us, he's a comedian. He has a new special out that you can watch immediatement on YouTube. And the special is called
Surprise Me.
Surprise Me. And you will be surprised because he's so funny and he's so delightful. It is the incredible Zach Zimmerman. Hey, Zach.
Thank you so much for having me. Nice to be here.
Folks, before we move on to the rest of the show, I just want to remind listeners, for one last time, and then I'll give it a little bit of a break, that you can support the show at patreon.com/Negin Farsad. We are moving into a new era of Fake the Nation, an era of independence. Ain't nobody can tell me what to do. And in that era, we require a little bit more support to make sure that the transition is smooth. So if you go to patreon.com/Negin Farsad, you can help by becoming a patron. For as little as $4 a month, you get bonus episodes. There's a $5 tier with even more. There's tiers with t-shirts and mugs and a pep talk for you or someone you love that's bespoke. And so it's been just like an honor and a pleasure, these last 9 years, to bring the show to you, and I hope I can continue. And thanks so much to everyone who's been supporting the show. Again, you can do that at patreon.com/Negin Farsad. And now on to the okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get into it with topic number one. I think we can all agree that anything Facebook comes up with is just for the good of humanity, right? Like, they just have our best interests at heart. And this new effort from Facebook is no different. Meta has a new app that lets you engage with an AI chatbot while you're in a movie theater watching a movie on the big screen. It's called MovieMate.
They had a special screening a couple weeks ago of the movie Megan, and according to reporting from Kotaku, the idea, she says, moving to another screen so she could see the quote, is that people in the theater will be able to use, I'm quoting from Kotaku here, use the phone to chat with a Megan-themed AI chatbot, answer trivia questions, and read behind-the-scenes tidbits. I mean, how much do you love this idea? Andrea, we'll start with you.
I hate this idea. I think this is terrible. I feel like a movie theater is such a sacred space, and people are already acting up and wiling out in it when they're not even given the permission to use their phone. So I definitely don't want people to have the permission to use the phone. Over Mother's Day weekend, I went to see a movie, and there was somebody playing with their phone then, and it was horrible and distracting and terrible. We should not be doing this.
Zach, you're a pro?
Yes, I support this fully and wholeheartedly. The only 2 hours of my day when I'm not on my phone is when I'm at a movie theater. I need the cultural shame of other people. Also, it's a time-honored tradition to whisper your thoughts to your neighbor ever so quietly. I don't want to ask a chatbot for those fun tidbits. I want to annoy my best friend with my hilarious jokes and commentary.
I want you to annoy your best friend too.
That's the fabric of society, I think.
Exactly. Well, and it's funny. It is so. I've always said the two places that I'm able to tune out are movie theaters and the beach. Those are the two places that I have no interest in my phone. Technology, what's technology?
At the beach, you can't even see it, really. Yeah, it's glary.
So who cares? And I'm not trying to take photos of myself in my bikini. You know what I mean? So this is, it's great. And then to add something that really encourages people to go on their phone, it feels terrible, but it also feels like something that wouldn't gain traction, right? Doesn't it feel like we must not be the only ones that think this is a terrible idea?
I hope not. I think most people agree they're not going to want to do this. Why are you chatting with someone or an AI character while you're watching the movie? It just feels like, why would you do that? Your friends are going to have more interesting ideas and things to say than an AI chatbot.
Yeah, why would you do that?
I think it's marketing stunt too, because I was reading it's the Megan movie. They showed the old Megan movie. This is to get us We're playing right into their hands. We're talking about this.
Yes.
We're excited for Megan 2.0 in theaters this June.
Which I think, didn't Megan, the first one, make it save movies that year or something?
Yeah, or it was a sleeper hit.
Right.
They thought it would be nothing,
exactly.
But then the gays fangirled for it, and we love Megan now.
So
Killer robot.
What do you love about her?
I saw it. I mean,
as the
powerful
one
woman.
Yes,
powerful woman, dancing.
Yes,
and death and destruction. Sort of worshiping, diva worship. I think she slips into that, and that it wasn't intended. I think gays when we find something we like this thing nobody thought we would like, but now it's literally coming out on Pride. We're playing right into their hands.
Right. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, it's interesting. I mean, it's funny because this is 10 days ago this happened where they introduced it, and I had known about it, but I was just not in the mood. And then today I decided I was in the mood to talk about it because of when I first read about it, I was that's depressing. But then I also felt it's one of these things that also companies will try a lot of things. Apparently there was something called Xbox Smart Glass, and it was an app that you'd open on your tablet or phone and use that while you're playing games or watching movies on your Xbox. And so I'm not an Xbox guy, but I imagine that apparently that app came out with a giant thud, nobody cared. So I think the good news is this doesn't feel like something that'll catch on.
Would you use it at home? If there was a chatbot while you're watching a movie, just on the couch?
All right.
Okay, I hate to admit this, Zach, but I think I might.
Canceled.
Yeah.
Canceled.
Andrea, career-ending admission right there. My husband is one of these people that likes to look up people's IMDb. He'll be I remember that person from so-and-so, and he looks it up to see if he was right or
Amazon
whatever.
Has that. They'll show if you scroll on the wrong corner of the screen, they'll show
or something.
The cast.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, and so my husband is into the weird trivia of actors. So I can picture him if there's a lot of that, but
You
know,
need to leave him.
I know.
I'm just going to say that. Before the show, we were talking about how he can't wear like colorful clothes. He feels trapped in male fashion. I think those 2 points alone, it's time to go.
That's right. That's right. Okay, it's going to be a tough day at in the Farsad home. Okay, folks, let's move on to our next little bit of culture here. For the last 62 years, Weight Watchers has been kind of helping people lose weight while counting points and meeting in a circle. That's what I understand about Weight Watchers. But now it's filing for bankruptcy. Of course, they claim it's going to position them for some kind of financial recovery, but nevertheless, it strikes me as the end of an era. First, I guess, let me ask both of you, did Weight Watchers ever play a role in your lives or the lives of your friends or family?
Yes, and I have to acknowledge right now that a member of my family was employed by Weight Watchers for many, many years, decades. And so I'm what's the word when I'm not part? I'm not.
You're not impartial, and thank you for that. This is we're not journalists, but thank you for that comedian's level admission. Okay.
So, but it did help my family member lose quite a bit of weight, and she looks fabulous. She looks incredible. I can say it's one of my aunts because I have a million.
Okay,
aunts,
I can't.
so
I figured it out. No, go ahead.
There's like 25 of them. And she looks fantastic, but she worked for them for decades. And then they fired her because
wait, so you hold on. Just for people who are not watching this on YouTube, you put fired in quotes, which almost implies that they hired her again or something. Where when you put fired in quotes, what does that mean?
I am putting it in quotes because I don't understand. I didn't look at the employment contract, and so I don't understand the role that my aunt played in this organization. Okay. But I think they classified it in a different, gentler way. But she worked there for decades.
Encouraged retirement or something?
We're going to be dropping some pounds that exactly equal your weight.
Well, it's funny. I mean, by the way, it's last year it took a hit when Oprah Winfrey announced that she was going to be leaving the company. And also she donated her stock to a museum. It's like maybe becoming a penny stock or something. Like it's not worth that much. So that felt a little unfortunate.
So that upset me because it was the African American History Museum. I'm like, so you basically took money from them.
Yeah. And then so and it's interesting because she had credited them for losing 40 pounds in 2016 and then later revealed that she also used an unnamed weight loss drug to lose even more. I mean, and I think her weight loss stuff has been like relatively public, right? And so I think she's on Ozempic, right? Am I not?
Oh yeah, stab that. Stab that in your thigh and stomach.
Yeah,
I've been on it 8 months now.
Hey, you look fabulous.
That's great, thank you. Have you ever been constipated and had diarrhea at the same time? Ozempic is for you guys.
Okay, so you have a relationship with weight loss wanting. Mm-hmm. I mean, as by the way, every American I've ever known. So asking for a friend that is me, did you have any relationship with Weight Watchers
I somehow skipped them, or they never. I feel like it was they
weren't in your personal life
woman
algorithm.
Driven,
yeah. Okay.
And me as like a 16-year-old chubby boy.
You didn't want to sit in that circle.
But it's funny when people declare bankruptcy because it feels like, oh, you're going out of business, but no, it's actually like, oh, we're getting a second chance, a free pass. Yeah. We don't owe any debts to anyone.
Yeah. By the way, would love a bankruptcy chance just in my life, general stuff.
A do-over? Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the body, like a body bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Like, let me just start from scratch. Give me back my infant form and let me actually take care of this.
If I had to do it all over again, I would have embraced some kind of exercise in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't touch a gym till 25.
Yeah, it took me very long to realize that was important.
Well, because that's where the jocks and the evil people were.
Right. And I was like, but is there a gym in the drama club? You know what I mean? And so it was a different time. But so Weight Watchers didn't play. And then I actually thought, and I don't know what you guys, the minute that they announced that they were going to be doing Weight Watchers plus like Ozempic or whatever, like the GLP-1s, I was like, oh, well, then what is Weight Watchers? Then, I mean, are you still counting points?
Yeah, but you never count more than 5 because you have no appetite
you have
anymore.
no appetite.
Didn't Rosie do Weight Watchers? That might be my connection. I remember Rosie O'Donnell eating popcorn with a thing that only let you eat one bite at a time.
Oh, during Weight Watchers.
But maybe she wasn't.
Like with like hand tongs? Like
they were hand tongs.
Okay.
Her big thing, it like controlled how fast you were eating. You just ate one at a time.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But simplifying calories for people, I feel like Weight Watchers did good work in that way.
I agree. I have to say, my aunt, it really helped her, and I think it helped some other members of my family, but she was very high up in the organization. And then I think...
Okay, we get it. Your aunt was like such a big deal.
She's the president of
Is
Weight
it
Watchers.
MLM?
Like
the way you're
CEO.
saying high up
I know.
and downline makes me wonder.
It's so... I know everything you're saying feels so sketchy.
She was working... Air quotes.
All right, folks. What do you guys think of Andrea's aunt, who had some sort of role in Weight Watchers? I want as much listener feedback about Andrea's aunt as possible.
Okay, fine. My aunt is Oprah.
Okay,
fine. I said it.
What are you doing on this podcast? Okay. All right. And we'll take a quick break so we can hear from our sponsors. And when we're back, we'll continue our chatter. And we are back and we're ready for topic number 2. All right. So there was a tariff deal that was made. I don't even really want to get into it because instead of 145% tariffs, there's now a 30% tariff, which is still technically bad with China. But it's much better than 145. So the stock market rallied at something being less bad than totally heinous. And also there's it's just a 90-day pause. So we'll see what happens. And I just feel like it's better, but it's like a we'll see what happens, which is why let's not get into it too much.
But that's my strategy when I go on dates. I ask the person to meet my friend the day before, and I have them go, and they're hideous, they're angry,
right.
They're smelly. They make a really bad impression. That way, by comparison, the anchor price, the anchor date, they're like, oh my God, Zach, you're a dream. You're only a 35% tariff? I'm interested.
I'm in it. Yeah, that's right. Maybe this is something that the entire dating world should adopt. I like that idea. But instead, let's get into a couple of other weird things. Trump wants to celebrate June 14th with a big parade. And what's special about June 14th? Let me tell you. Well, obviously, it's Flag Day, a day that is seared into all of our hearts and minds. It's also the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary. And oh my God, also, it just happens to be Trump's birthday. So what is the price tag on this event? Thanks for asking. It's just a mere $92 million. It's May of his first year back, and he's already at the point where he's like, policy is boring. Can we just focus on parties? So I don't know. I guess my question is, what will you guys be wearing to his birthday parade?
Red, white, and blue, obviously.
Just my Cowboy Carter outfit. You can repurpose it.
Yeah. That's true. There was some discussion of the Beyonce tour, Andrea, before you got on. That's what's going on here. And there are 2 individuals, right, that are going to that tour. I'm not one of them, so that'll just give you an idea.
Slur. That felt like a slur.
Well, I just feel, you know what? I feel like these tours happen, and then everyone gets their tickets, and then I don't know. I'm so late to the game that it doesn't happen for me.
Same.
And my life is really sad. And that's the whole point of that. But Andrea, so what do you think of of this kind of lavish event for Flag Day? That's in quotes, Flag Day.
I feel, is this the same thing where he's trying to change Veterans Day to Victory Day?
That's another thing. That's another fun
thing,
which he's trying to change veterans. He's trying to say that there's a Victory Day on November 11th, but that day is already Veterans Day. So I don't know what that would mean for Veterans Day, but go ahead.
Well, in terms of Trump and the birthday, I mean, I can't think of something more Gemini than throwing a party for yourself, but acting like it's for something else. It's giving strong Gemini. And I love it. As an Aries, I have to say, I do get along well with Geminis. I just the unabashed,
Right.
like in your face, like this is what I'm doing. Get in line or don't.
What do you think?
I'm like, Trump is a genius. He's a fascist genius to do this. Because it takes me back. I grew up super Christian, so I know like Constantine, when he takes over areas, he replaced pagan traditions with he leaned into the cultural rhythms of the people he was conquering. So like, oh, you have a spring equinox. That's actually, we're going to celebrate Jesus's resurrection that day. Oh, you have the winter equinox. That's actually when Jesus was born. Aligning the birth of your Savior.
The things that already happened, right.
So to make everyone celebrate his birthday, whether they want to or not, is sort of this genius way of elevating him as this like sacred figure.
Right, which is fun because like Iranians are really big into the winter solstice, which they were like, this is Jesus's birthday or whatever.
Oh,
and
gotcha,
they did one of those because the winter solstice is December 21st, and it's sort of aligned, and so it made a bunch of people celebrate a thing like accidentally.
Right. How can we counter this? Like, name the day something else. It's actually.
I mean, I think
Day.
the other fun thing about it is it's gay pride, like the entire month. So pride feels like, well, okay, is June 14th like more extra pride?
Trump is the gayest man I've ever encountered, too. He's throwing a huge party for his own birthday, a parade.
Exactly. And he likes gold and everything that shines.
yeah.
I feel like this could be easily
We could
just the best
start calling it
pride
the Pride
event
Parade.
ever. And
Oh,
let's
you're
just
going to
call
the
it,
Pride
we're
Parade?
just calling it the Pride Parade. And that's the solution.
Oh my God, I
We
love
hatched it
that.
up here on Fake the Nation. Okay. Let me see. There's another. Okay, here's the next thing in politics. All right. So, you know how when you go to why did I write this down? Okay, you know how when you go to someone's house and you buy them bodega flowers for $20? Well, Qatar is essentially doing the same thing by giving Trump or presumably America a $400 million luxury jet as a gift to replace Air Force One. Trump said, I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. And he went on to say, I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person say
Your Trump is very
no.
good. Your Trump is really.
My Trump is random cab driver in the 80s. Is what my Trump. I could be a stupid person to say no. We don't want a free, very expensive airplane. But I thought it was a great gesture. Okay, so I mean, I don't know. Does he have a point? It would just be stupid to say no.
If you offered me a plane, I would take it. But that's the thing. You're the president of the United States. They're going to have to retrofit this thing. It's going to cost millions and millions of dollars to make it Air Force One. And then he gets it afterwards. Like, it's really,
Well, he says
really
he's not going to
evil.
use it afterwards. Like, it'll be like a decommissioned plane in his whatever. But none of that is true. As we know, nothing that comes out of his mouth is true. So I would also say, here's just like a fun fact about luxury jets that I learned recently. I think
First
it's
person experience.
First person.
I'm
I've
sure.
been in so many.
You want Kim's?
They cost about someone said like the average maintenance is like $2 million a year. So it's like one of those gifts that's like,
Oh, like winning a car on Price is Right.
Yes.
You're going to pay half in taxes.
Yeah,
and then the upkeep. It's actually
yeah.
a burden.
Exactly. It's actually
Or the Home Improvement Show, Trading Places, did this to people. They would make over your house, and then your house became so much more expensive that you like had to sell it.
So this is just basically
Oh, no.
Qatar's way of being a Bravo show, and giving Trump a new jet. What do you? So the other thing I wanted to say about the jet is that it poses a national security threat, and they would have to like undo the whole jet to see if there's any national security threats
Right,
in
right.
it, and then also they
a
have
Trojan
to make
horse
it.
situation.
Yeah, and the other thing is like the problem is not that we can't get jets. It's an American jet. It's a Boeing jet. Like it's not like not an American jet already. But like so we can get those. The problem is making them withstand nuclear warfare, which is what an Air Force One can do, and also like be the command, like a wartime
Can
command.
survive a nuclear.
Yeah, that's what Air Force Ones
What?
do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why they're
That's why
special.
it's taking them so
That's
long.
why it's like they don't make them all the time. It's so hard to do it.
Interesting.
So Andrea, so you're a lawyer. How legal does all of this feel in your heart?
In my expert legal opinion, this is illegal.
All right. Okay. They just didn't have a chat with Andrea. I think that's been the whole miscommunication here, is that Andrea needs to go tell somebody.
I've been avoiding their phone calls. I've had things to do. But I'm ready to speak now on the record. No, I mean, they say what it's against the foreign emoluments clause or something like that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing emoluments clause. And so, I mean, they're trying to get around it because that clause, you're not supposed to, a foreign power is not supposed to give a sitting president like a gift, which honestly, that's the way it is. I mean, as an attorney, I'm not allowed to receive certain gifts or whatever from clients or whatever. So I get it. I'm just like a sitting president. But they're trying.
Yes, you are.
You are sitting. I do want listeners to know you are currently sitting.
But so they're trying to get around it in a certain way. I don't think it's a good idea, but is that going to stop Donald? I don't think it's going to stop Donald. And because it's going to go to this, I think this has happened before. Like it's going to go to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court's going to say it's fine. He's not the president anymore or something like that. So it doesn't count.
Right. And just Chuck Schumer did a little, I think this was a tweet saying, nothing says America first like Air Force One, brought to you by Qatar. It's not just bribery, it's premium foreign influence with extra legroom.
I bet he felt real good when an intern brought that to him. He's like, I got him.
Yeah.
Extra legroom.
I was gonna do my Chuck Schumer, but it also sounds like a cab driver from the 1980s in a movie set in New York. By the way, Laura Loomer is everyone's favorite unclear what she does in life person, but she's a very, very, very right-wing, like unsavory right-wing person, I think is fair. She even said that accepting this gift would be a, quote, stain on the administration.
It's sort of like when you have a countertop that already looks a little stained. That way you can get stains on it.
Right.
You don't want to buy white countertops.
No, you don't. That's right.
It's already stained. It's kind of a camo look, this administration.
So so they should just have a chat and be like, we already did a camo look, so we can.
It is nice to see the right criticizing him, though.
It is. I mean, because this is where I feel a little like oddly hopeful, because some of these things are so beyond the pale and so obviously, like any comedian / lawyer will tell you that it's illegal. So it feels like, okay, the coalition is not with you on this. They're not with you on literally everything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It is a relief. And then also she apparently said she would take a bullet
for
him,
she did say that.
which is like, I feel like that's a big statement.
Yeah.
And I think we should put her to the test.
I would take a bullet for him if it went through me and also hit him.
Oh,
Can I say
wow,
that?
Zach.
Everyone got very excited. Zach.
Well, no, but I mean, I
Get
was
over there.
So first of all, I just want to say, no one on Fake the Nation is endorsing any sort of violence because we don't do that,
Attack.
and they're just joking.
Fight.
Totally
but
joking.
I'm joking
I
also.
will say that I've never heard anyone say that. Like, I mean, I've never.
I guess in what situation does it happen?
Yeah, that
Like,
would have to.
I'll save you, I become a Secret Service agent.
Right.
I get
Exactly.
close enough.
Maybe
I become his
that's
number
what-
one. I take the bullet, but
That's
I know
right.
I send it through like the thinnest part of my
okay,
body.
and what
Thanks,
just happened
Ozempic.
is the three of us are pitching our next Netflix series. I think that's what just happened here. By the way, I just want to point out that in 2017, Trump actually called Qatar a sponsor of terrorism and wanted to, have a diplomatic blockade on Qatar. So it's fun what a little $400 million will do to change someone's mind about you. You know what I mean?
Quite a turn.
Yeah.
I used to
Face.
despise you, and then after that $400 million gift, I'm like, I'm a fan.
Okay, so let us move on to another sign that he's done with the actual job of being president. Donnie wants to rename the Persian Gulf, which has been thusly named since the 16th century, to the Arabian Gulf. So, he's just taking up non-issues head on. Of course, Iranian leaders are outraged. Iranian-American comedians are just think it's really fucking dumb and senseless. So I don't know. Where do you guys land on that spectrum?
The naming stuff feels like a distraction.
Yeah.
I will say it's very it's literally changing words, which is what headlines are. So it's a way to sort of distract from the actual evil that's happening.
Right. Okay. And then Andrea, where do you land on this one?
I agree with Zach, or it's some sort of political ploy, because I know they're trying to work on a deal between
Iran,
like Israel, with.
They're working on a new Iran nuclear deal, which I think is it's interesting timing to do this type of thing, just to make the job of people who are in the conflict resolution like that, just making that job more difficult. But
right, so maybe he's saying, okay, I'm going to threaten to do this and then pull it back if it's going to be advantageous for us in doing negotiations for that deal.
The fake out.
Can I
the juke?
Yes.
I'm not a fan of the Islamic Republic of Iran. I mean, I'm Iranian. I'm a fan of the people, and I'm not a fan of the government, which is like a position that...
I love their second album, though. It was really came.
But it was just funny to hear them say, like the foreign minister said, quote... like the names of Middle East waterways did, quote, not imply ownership by any particular nation, but reflects a shared respect for the collective heritage of humanity, which is another thing of just, he basically went on to say, like, we've never had a problem with something being called the Sea of Oman or the Indian Ocean or the Arabian Sea or the Red Sea. So, like, no one else should have a problem with this one body of water being called the Persian Gulf. And it's so... obvious. Like, if we go down this route of name changing, there's so many names that have to be changed. You know what I mean? And it's just so silly. It's such a time waster. And I don't see. I mean, again, someone else would, like a Trump person would say, "Oh, he's playing 4-dimensional chess, and you don't see how this is going to play into the new Iran nuclear deal." But like, no, I just don't see how this plays into that at all. It just or whatever deal he's trying to make with Arab countries that hate Iran and love sticking it to them or whatever. But I also think, again, at this point, this name has been around since the 16th century. We've adapted. You know what I mean? We've adapted. All right, folks. Let me know. What do you guys think? Have you already started calling it the Gulf of Arabia or whatever?
And pitch some new names.
Yeah.
Let's get some fun new names.
Some like neutral, I don't know, names that have nothing to do with
the it's okay to accept $400 million gifts Gulf.
Gulf, that's right.
Just subtly
that rolls
brainwash.
off the tongue. I like that. All right, folks, let me know what you think about anything in politics that are making us all crazy. Let's move on to topic number 3. Okay, so I saw a letter to the ethicist in the New York Times that I could not resist. The writer asks, I see many older Northern European retirees to countries like Portugal or Morocco, and I know that some Americans are doing the same in Latin America. Is it fair to enjoy a different country's sun and cheaper living in retirement, or is this a new, sweet form of colonialism? Okay, so let's get into it. I mean, what do you think? What do you think, Zach? Is this a form of colonialism?
As a white colonizer myself,
yes.
I
that's why I turned to you, because your view is the most important.
I read their response to it. It doesn't seem like colonizing, but it does feel like gentrification adjacent. Just being mindful of being a good neighbor. You're not overtaking a land by force. You're moving there to spend money, but you have to be mindful of the problems you cause by like raising housing rates and affecting people who've lived there for generations. And so I think, focusing on being like a good neighbor after you move is probably the move, rather than banning outright your ability to get sun in your twilight years.
Andrea, what do you think?
agree. I feel like it's
Thank God.
It's giving
Ooh, I was worried.
gentrification. It's giving gentrification. It's giving what's happening to Brooklyn right now. It's giving Williamsburg. But it does sound like in some countries where there's a lot of like expats moving to, they will like put rules in place to try to make sure maybe they don't purchase they don't purchase too much land. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to kind of come in to hold protection so that like the value of houses don't go up too high, and at the same time it does sometimes create jobs. So I mean, work has to be done so that
right, like you need
there
policies to make this whole thing function appropriately. But I will say it's interesting because I think this is an area like one of the things that happened with New York real estate, and this isn't like the main problem by any means, but we have had a lot of like oligarchs buying pied-à-terres in New York City. That is one of the things that's like kind of sucked up the stock of housing in New York. It's led to higher prices. And so it's not like we're immune from this phenomenon where people from the outside who have money come in and drive up prices. So I think that, I mean, so yeah, just to be clear, in places like in that, some of the article we read talked about, and in other places that I've read, talked about Morocco and Portugal as having these like ridiculous price jumps in certain neighborhoods where you see a lot of this expat activity, and it's ruinous. There was oh my God, what's the name? Mallorca in Spain. They attract a lot of Germans, and for a while the Germans were like drinking too much beer and like littering beer, like beer cans and stuff like that. So like on the beaches or whatever. So Mallorca had to do a whole like, what are we going to do about this German problem? And this is EU to EU. I mean, these are like, Spain's a smaller economy, but still they're not like they're not entirely unrelated economies. And so there's stuff like that we, and I was talking to a friend of mine who's from Mexico City, and she was talking about Americans and Europeans who moved to Mexico City. And she said like a big problem with them is they all go to one neighborhood, like only hang out with each other, and then don't integrate into like Mexican life at all. And she just thought it was like, why would you what's the point? You know what I mean? Just don't do that if but yeah. So I don't know. There is a
pitch. You get assigned a local when you arrive. If you're going to move to a new city, we do like a speed friend dating, so that then they share their story, you share theirs. Yeah. The rich person has to take the local out for dinner twice a week. Right. And the local gets to like slap the rich person a couple times also or something like.
Why do you have so many violent adjacent like ideas today? What is it about violent today? I will take a bullet, but it has to pass through me.
Oh, that was just practical. Okay. That's not violent. I'm just thinking through.
Oh my God.
That's anti-violent.
No.
Someone else shot it.
Oh, I see.
Maybe it's violent.
It's a little violent. Okay, so I think it's interesting because I grew up in Palm Springs, California. It's a resort town. I grew up with snowbirds. We had so many Canadians come to Palm Springs. I grew up like where half the year there was just a ton of elder Canadians. and also like just like elderly gay men, because it's a very gay city, Palm Springs, and
you fit right in.
And yeah, I mean, this might explain a lot about me, anyways. But I just remember thinking, oh, this is interesting, but I'm like a townie, like I go to school here, and you guys just come in, and I don't know, you play golf or whatever, and then you leave, and so our lives were not integrated in any way, and I do think that's a little. Just having been a townie, I think that's a little sad. I think it's sad for the people who are not doing the integrating too. Like, it's great that you have money and whatever, but don't you want to, like, I don't know, have some interaction with like a kid that lives in the town or something? I don't know.
Exactly.
When you move to a town,
I think that's a good point.
Take the children aside, engage with them, talk to them, learn about their city.
Yeah. That's
Zach, you have great ideas.
You.
I love these ideas. I think you need to be the president.
Oh, I am sitting.
This is interesting.
Trump and I realize he's 6'3", I'm 6'4", and we have one other thing in common. My mom loves us both.
What?
My mom loves me and him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's an
Big little Trump
wow,
fan.
you
goodness.
really
Wow,
killed the
tone
mood.
shift. I
wow.
thought I'd probably get a laugh there, but I guess everyone's feeling.
That did kill the mood. I feel very uncomfortable by what you just said. No, I mean, does it cause any, or have you figured out like how both of you guys can be cool?
Yeah, but the boundaries we learned last year. We learned the word boundaries.
Just last year.
Yeah, it was really
Nice.
exciting. A little late to the game. But we
Never too
also
late
have
to
fun
learn.
have fun and roast each other about
Right,
it a little bit
right,
because I
right.
realize she's deep in now. She's not going to change. Also, I think
Well, here's the question though: with like the tariffs and all the blah blah blah, and the like
the blah 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 blah. We talk about the blah blah blah
like
a lot.
okay, but it's been bad for people who voted for Trump. I mean,
Yep.
Because they don't have lower prices. Some of them, they can't get on the phone with Social Security. A lot of their things are being, so it's like some of the services they're used to are being cut.
Her daughter's a school teacher who's losing her job because of Department of Education cuts.
Oh,
her
okay.
grandson is half Guatemalan because her son-in-law like immigrated illegally when he was 18.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
So,
only way.
so she's
And what's his address exactly? What's his address?
So she's surrounded by reasons that it's not good. It's not working out for her.
Correct.
What does she say about that?
I think let's call her up. Get her on the line. My way of thinking is that
Joyce?
There's a lot of love in her. It's a heart versus brain thing. There's a lot of love in her
Yeah.
heart for the people actually around her, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
compassion and empathy.
Yeah.
But she is reciting the talking points that are
Right.
being sort of pumped out by the media.
I think it's easy to kind of like make things abstract when when you want to.
Mhm.
It's like if she's talking about her grandson or something like that feels very concrete.
Right.
But if you were talking about a group of criminals or something,
Right,
and they're
right.
characterized thusly and blah blah blah,
Which
then it's
her grandson is.
Is-
That terror. He's about to be 2. Oh my God. Nightmare.
All right, folks. Well, I think it'd be interesting if she moves to Portugal.
Patty?
Your mom.
Oh.
Patty!
She would tear it up. She would talk to all the locals.
I have to. I have to say I'm not impartial. I have been to the Algarve.
Oh, okay.
And,
all right. Thank you for
I've-
disclosing. Yeah, that
What's the Algarve?
a region in Portugal.
Ooh.
Portugal. Mm-hmm.
The fact that you don't
it's
know.
beautiful.
Are we moving there? I know. I just learned about Porto.
You just embraced boundaries with your mom, so we have a little teachings to do over here. My friends, that is the end of the episode. Oh my God, what a fun time I had speaking with the two of you, and I would really love for the people of Fake Nation to follow you and all of the wonderful things that you do. Andrea, where do they do that?
You can go on my Instagram, which is Andrea Coleman Comedy, or my website, which is also Andrea Coleman Comedy. And if you are going to be in Scotland this summer, I'll be performing at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. My solo show is called 3 White Guys Named John, and it's about how John Hughes, John Mayer, and John Bon Jovi changed my life. And I'll be performing the entire month of August. Or you can see me here in Brooklyn. I have a monthly storytelling show that I co-produce, and it's the second Sunday of every month, and you can get the specifics on my Instagram.
There's one time I was standing on 2nd Avenue and I saw John Mayer drunk. Like,
That checks out.
this was years ago. I was like going
Wow.
to meet a friend for a meeting at a coffee shop or something, and he was like walking by and he said something to me and this friend, like, "Hey, a beautiful day" or something, whatever. But he was like, I think he was on
You
a
get
while.
hit
I
on?
think.
Is your body the Wonderland?
First of all, my body like is a wonderland generally, but like no, I know this would have been at the height of that era of fame for him, like mid to late 2000s or something, and I know, honestly, I just think he was just having a fun day, like that started maybe with a walk of shame that he was doing.
Right.
And this is, I'm not trying to like besmirch his reputation. I don't even know what his reputation is, to be honest. it was a fun interaction with John Mayer. I'm not saying anything negative. All right.
It's funny you bring this up because I ran into drunk John Hughes walking down the street.
No, you did
and
not.
What?
Just kidding.
Oh, John Bon Jovi. Anyone? John Bon Jovi.
Anybody?
Anyone?
Going once, go
Okay. All right. Now, so folks, look up Andrea and everything that she does, and also if you're in Edinburgh, you know what to do. Now, Zach, where do they find you?
I'm actually not accepting any new followers at this time. I'm currently maxed out on fans. I don't need anyone else paying attention to me. But if you want to stream my new special, it's called Surprise Me. It's on YouTube. And I'm on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, at ZZ. ZZ,
Oh
the
my
word
God,
double.
I
and then ZZ.
cannot wait. Double ZZ. What? ZZ.
I know it's terrible to say
the way you said
auditorially.
it. The way
Yeah.
you said it was really weird. Is
It's-
there four
well,
Z's?
Because you have to know it's the word. It's ZZ double ZZ.
ZZ, and then the word double,
And then ZZ.
another ZZ.
So it's double Z double Z.
Okay, got you. Okay, now
Is
I got
that
it.
easier?
It took like 5 minutes for us to get there, but we got there.
I don't want it to be easy for people. You gotta work to follow me. I don't want some, fair weather fans. You gotta solve a codex in order to become
you do.
my fan.
Well, folks, you know where to find me and all the things that I do, and I will be doing. Wait, don't tell me, in Chicago in June. I want to say 5th, but
Wait, I'm on that one too.
What?
Yeah, or they've moved me around a lot.
I don't know, but that might be the one I'm on.
That'll be fun.
Hey.
Oh, okay. It's my first time. Give me
And,
tips.
Okay, so then if you're in Chicago, what are you doing? And then otherwise, you could read my column in Progressive Magazine. And what I would really love to do is thank everyone who makes this show a possibility. Thank you so much to our wonderful producer, Andrew McGuire. Thanks to everyone at HeadGum. Thanks to Gaby Alter for writing our theme music. You can email us at fakethenationpodcast@gmail.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/Negin Farsad. And otherwise, we'll be back in your earballs next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.
Okay, so folks, we're gonna tape this next thing. We'll use it as a vacation episode, or as a bonus. So I'm just gonna reintroduce you guys. Okay, here we go. And next topic. Today, we wanted to talk about dating your friend's ex. So here to discuss that is the one and only lawyer / comedian / just all around fantastic entertainer. It is Andrea Coleman. Hey, Andrea.
Hey.
We are also with the incredible comedian whose new special, Surprise Me, is out on YouTube, and you should go watch it right now. It is the excellent Zach Zimmerman. Hey, Zach.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Excited to talk about this.
Okay, so so there's this, let me just give you guys like a little bit of the story. So there's this woman, we'll call her Dolly. She had these friends that were a couple, these two women. We'll call them Jane and Alice. Jane and Alice break up after 9 years, and Dolly wanted to stay friends with both women, and help smooth things out as they both dealt with the breakup. Alice had a hard time with that, but eventually got over it when she started to date someone new. And once that happened, Jane was like, I have feelings for you. Let's get together. And so they started dating. But now Alice is upset and needs, quote, some space. And then just reading from the letter, she writes, she will not talk to me now and has told mutual friends untrue things about me. Most of our friends are trying to be friends with both of us, but some are excluding me. My relationship with Jane is going well. We are not getting any younger, and I really want our chance at a lasting relationship, but I miss my friend. Was I wrong to start dating my friend's ex so soon? How long are people supposed to wait? So I'm asking the two of you, in your capacity as relationship experts, how long are people supposed to wait?
More than 2 months, which is how long this woman waited before she dated the friend.
So like you just feel like it wasn't enough time.
I feel like it wasn't enough time. Like it needs to, yeah, absolutely not. And I mean, I don't know why I keep talking about family members, but I'll just say one of my mom's best friends passed away. It was very terrible. And her husband survived. He's extremely attractive. And
I feel uncomfortable with you even characterizing him that way, but go ahead. Okay.
I'm aroused.
He's handsome. He's a handsome older man. But he was trying to kick game to my mom. And my mom's like, I can't do that. You were married to my close friend. And so my mom is like, hard pass.
Even after death?
Oh.
Yes.
My
even
rule
after
was
death.
going to be after death, you're allowed.
Okay.
But she is honoring the pact of sacred friendship.
I wonder
in the next life.
If a year down the line when everybody's calmed down, if A, that guy is still interested, and then apparently he's really hot, and then B, if your mom would be like, you know what, enough time has passed. Or she's just like bro code forever.
She's bro code. It's been several years.
Several years.
Now, at this point.
Okay.
At this point.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not as hardcore as Cynthia. Maybe I don't know how Patty would feel. I'm not as hardcore as Cynthia, but I think a year, 2 years, a year.
4 seasons.
Okay.
There should be a
4
winter.
seasons.
There should be a summer. There should be a spring. And I don't know if you guys know this. There should be which did I forget? Fall. I went out of order. I'm so dumb.
Well, if you're moving around the equator, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's why you're out of
That's a good
order.
loophole. You could always be chasing
You can always
winter.
be chasing. Yeah, that's what everyone would do, is chase winter, I believe is what everyone would do. They wouldn't chase summer, let's say, but they would in fact chase winter. So interesting. Okay, so you have a year. Yours is four seasons at various points on the globe. And then Andrea, your rule is 1 year. You're season agnostic.
The characterization of Zach. I like seasons. It sounds more gentle. So I think 4 seasons. Okay. But 2 months is crazy. 2 months is wild.
2 months
and she knew she was wrong. You don't write into these accounts
without knowing that
you
did something wrong. That's right. Because here's the thing. It's also, there might be a different calculation based on the number of years that person was with the other person. So this was a 9-year relationship that ended up in a breakup. 9 years is like so fucking long. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's like a real painful thing, you
Honestly,
know?
too long. They should have
And
broke up a lot
I
earlier.
agree. I know. Can we? What Alice and Jane were doing is a whole other story. But yeah.
Well, because I'm curious, like, how involved was it? Was this friend harboring feelings of desire for this person before the breakup happened? Like,
Okay, so
we don't know
can
how
I tell you
involved
guys-
the friend was
Right.
in encouraging her to break up. We don't
Okay,
know.
now I'm not proud, but I was involved in a situation in which I know
Slut.
where
I'm just kidding.
no, so there
Am
was
I allowed to say that on air?
Yes.
Okay, good.
There was,
As one, the slut in me sees the slut in you.
no, thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
honestly, in my 20s, I really embraced the term. But I'm married now, so I have to act like whatever. But what happened was, like, my friend was with this woman, and they were together for some time. And then they broke up, and then she moved away, and it was sort of like she was just like gone. And then after some time, he was like, "Oh, I always had a thing for you," and I was like, "Oh, fucking really?" And then there was a minor dalliance, but it was not
Minor dalliance.
But I wasn't even I didn't really even keep in touch with the other. It was not enough. I was not close enough to any of these people for it to be difficult. I don't even think anyone was hurt or found out or anything.
That's the way to move. Never get close friendship-wise to anyone. 'Cause
That's right.
It's gonna block you from fucking people.
That's right. But I kind of just knew this couple. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know.
I think that's okay. I think
it was
that's
several
very
months
different.
after
And the move.
and it was a relationship that was it was like we were in our 20s. It was all stupid. You know what I mean?
How long were they together?
I don't know.
10 years, married,
Maybe
4 kids.
I
No,
don't
I'm just kidding.
no, like a year.
Okay. And then, because in this article too, she's like, "Oh, we're not getting any younger." I want to know how old these people
Well,
are.
if you have a 9-year relationship under your belt, they're at least something
It's just a
plus
bunch of
9.
60-year-old lesbians who are looking for love.
If it did
If
feel that
they're-
way.
If they're in their 80s or 90s, fine, I'll allow it. But anything younger than that, don't act
Okay,
like
so if
you're
you're
old.
in your 60s, then you're going to apply the 1 year, the 4 seasons rule.
Yeah, 60s isn't old anymore.
60s
That's
is young.
true. It's
60s
pretty
is
hot.
the new 20s.
Yeah, that's right.
And your 80s, I've started to call my heroin years. I've made pacts with friends that we're allowed to do heroin in our 80s.
Isn't that the character arc of the grandfather in Little Miss Sunshine?
Does he do hard drugs?
He does a hard drug.
I was focused on the colorblindness
Spoiler
of the-
alert for the
Oh.
movie that came out 15 years ago. But I think in Little Miss Sunshine, that grandfather character was doing cocaine.
I also
Wow.
only remember the colorblindness, really.
Really? Yeah.
Who
that was the
sorry. Who was
tragic part.
colorblind in
Oh,
that?
Someone wanted to be a fighter pilot, and then he finds out he's
Yeah.
colorblind. It's really the core. The man
Right.
not getting to join the military
Right,
was the core
of-
emotional crux of the movie.
That's so we all remember one thing about this movie, and it's not at all the main plot, which I don't
It's a
remember.
Rorschach test. It
I
really
don't-
shows you who you are.
Okay, so I have a related question about this dating thing. So, let's say that you break up with someone. This is a question that our intrepid producer Andrew found. It was rolling around on the TikToks. But do you delete photos of your ex after a breakup, like from your phone and from social media? Like, do you just do a full delete? What is your personal protocol? What do you think everyone's protocol should be if you ruled the world?
I got dumped 7 years ago, and that was a 3-year relationship. And I kept all my photos.
Okay.
And then iOS does this really sweet thing every year.
Memories.
Every year it makes a romantic video of him that it sends to me and reminds us of all. But I love having them because I can see, we broke up on a trip together that we went abroad, and I can see how unhappy he is in all the photos we took. In hindsight, I look back, I'm like, oh, you're frowning now while we're in front of the Eiffel Tower. Huh? I didn't notice that at the time.
That's funny. So
Is it?
you're not.
Is it?
Yeah. Your pain is hilarious to me. No, but that's interesting. So you didn't. I think that also means that but why do you think you weren't compelled to do any deleting or whatever? Or were you compelled in the moment and
I
decided
love my
against
little
it?
artifacts of.
Okay.
I mean,
Of
I
a
lived
time
the
that w-
life.
yeah.
What a thing I do is change their name in my phone to Bob Smith.
So you have
That
so
way,
you
if
have a
they
bunch of Bob
ever text
Smiths in
me,
your phone.
I won't have an emotional reaction. It'll
Oh,
be like, who the
that's
hell's Bob
nice.
Smith?
Right. Who the hell's Bob Smith?
Not
and
like,
you
oh,
actually
my one
never.
true love.
And they're all named Bob Smith, so
Yeah,
you
and
never
they've started
know.
to blend. It's a problem.
That's great. Andrea, what is your position on this hard hitting issue?
I also do not delete, but I've been in I'm in a 13-year relationship, so I don't. But my last relationships, we weren't even really using phones like that.
Right.
So I don't have a ton of photos of anyone else
got some
I dated.
Polaroids that
but-
you save in a shoebox.
Exactly. Some sketches. And he's
a dead
he's social
pigeon that
media
once
shy.
delivered a letter to you. Sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. He's social media shy, so I don't have many photos of him
Oh my God,
online.
God bless
Just
him.
maybe back of his head or feet. He doesn't have Instagram or TikTok or anything.
You have
like that.
feet pics of your man?
Yes, because for sale. Because he's like, I'm not gonna let you show my face, but we'll be at a couples retreat and I want to take a picture. And he's like, well, I don't want my face. And so I'm like, okay, fine. I just want people to think I'm at a couples retreat by myself. So
Put your feet in
I'll
the
just
pic.
our feet in the sand.
Yeah. It's funny because I also dated a guy who, for work reasons, just was very just didn't had a really sanitized social media presence.
It was Barack Obama.
And it was Barack Obama. Pre-Michelle, I'm 145 years old. But it was interesting because this guy, his social media was just it was like looking at a catalog or something. It was so nothing. It was very sterile. And so and I also am not great at archiving my life. So it's never occurred to me to take pictures. So I just don't have very much evidence of some of these relationships, as I was never good at photographing. But I'm kind of like you, Zach. I just am well, this existed. It's not like this part of my life didn't happen. It would be so sad if I look back on those 4 years and I can't handle that they happened. Those 4 years, some great things happened during those 4 years, even though the relationship ultimately didn't work out. But that's fine. Not every relationship's supposed to work out.
My rule now would be to not post a lot if I'm getting in a new relationship. Just that feels, I look back and it's cringe how much I was posting. We're so happy together.
Oh God, yeah, I could see that. Well, and also in stand-up, that's the other weird thing is do you feel? I remember writing jokes about a guy I was dating. I just dated him for a year, and I didn't think we were gonna get married or anything. But looking back, I was oh, is it weird that I even just did material about him? But also, what the fuck else am I gonna talk about other than
I
the
think
dicks
it's great
of
that we did material.
the dudes I'm with? Again, been with the same guy now for very many years. I'm not.
As to long-term relationship people and someone who hasn't known love for months, we are apt to answer this question.
Folks, let me know. Are you deleting photos of your exes out there? I'm so curious to hear. By the way, one of the people who talked about this on TikTok regrets having done it, deleted. She regrets the deletions. So keep that in mind before you go and just don't do
become
anything.
super famous or something, or they might kill the president, and then suddenly you want to post like, "Hey, this is me. I dated that guy."
Oh my God!
Someone just hooked up with the Pope. Not
what?
In real time, but
like
a
back in
child.
the day.
Yeah, when they were 18, they hooked up. Wouldn't you love to have a picture of
wait,
you
so
and
they
the
made
Pope?
out with Pope Leo?
Yeah.
Oh, who is it?
I don't know. She's just some lady in, I think,
And
Florida.
does
or
she have
somewhere.
photos?
No photos.
Right. Well, that was
So
also
take
the
pics.
70s or whatever, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, take pics, I guess, because you never know when. I think the moral of this entire segment is the next person you make out with could become a pope. So just take the photos. I think that's where we all stand on this. My friends, that is the end of the episode. Oh my God, what a fun time I had speaking with the two of you. And I would really love for the people of Fake Nation to follow you and all of the wonderful things that you do. Andrea, where do they do that?
You can go on my Instagram, which is Andrea Coleman Comedy, or my website, which is also Andrea Coleman Comedy. And if you are going to be in Scotland this summer, I'll be performing at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. My solo show is called Three White Guys Named John, and it's about how John Hughes, John Mayer, and John Bon Jovi changed my life. And I'll be performing the entire month of August. Or you can see me here in Brooklyn. I have a monthly storytelling show that I co-produce, and it's the second Sunday of every month, and you can get the specifics on my Instagram.
There's one time I was standing on 2nd Avenue and I saw John Mayer drunk. Like, this was years ago. I was like going to meet a friend for a meeting at a coffee shop or something. And he was like walking by and he said something to me and this friend. Like, hey, a beautiful day or something, whatever. But he was like, I think he was on a while. I think.
Is your body the Wonderland?
First of all, my body like is a Wonderland generally, but like no, I know this would have been at the height of that era of fame for him, like mid to late 2000s or something, and I know, honestly, I just think he was just having a fun day, like that started maybe with a walk of shame that he was doing.
Right.
And this is. I'm not trying to like besmirch his reputation. I don't even know what his reputation is, to be honest. It was a fun interaction with John Mayer. I'm not saying anything negative. All right.
It's funny you bring this up because I ran into drunk John Hughes walking down the street.
No, you did not.
What?
Just kidding.
Oh, John Bon Jovi. Anyone? John Bon Jovi.
Anybody?
Anyone?
Going once, go
Okay.
twice.